Hey, yo, we like to say that this is a land built by the people and for the people. But if we can't change what the government spends money on, and money also makes the world go round, then what does any of that shit mean in the first place? It's real nigga news.
You all think I'm going to say, shit, all this anesthesia. Motherfucking hurricanes came through, but it wasn't no FEMA. Goddamn, they left us in the water by the dirt, dust. Niggas never really gave a fuck.
Niggas hit you with that anesthesia, put you to sleep, bruh. You know it's the killer nigga woods where we creep, bruh. You know that my ninja they good, push like a Jeep, bruh. Catching niggas for days, no rest, math the reaper. Muscle memory in my cells, clap like a sleeper. Swim through money, I need a sail, these rivers deeper. My niggas got bonds, no better when shit go heater. Hammers banging, we bleed, your bodies everywhere, FEMA.
This right here, this a real nigga news or a real nigga thought on the illusions of economic spending. You see, we like to pretend all the time that we don't have money for certain things and that the things that we spend money on is, in a way, the most necessary things on the planet, right? But none of that shit really makes any sense. You have to always factor in that money is made up, right? It's a made up fucking thing. And being that we know for a fact that our money isn't backed by gold, then that means you have an endless amount of money that you can flood into the economy. And we saw that shit happen over the last COVID. Motherfuckers who are around my age, around 27, 28, we in the best position because we got to see a country seem good and then we got to see it seem bad and then seem profitable and then we got to watch them shut down governments and flood the economy with random money, even though we like to act like things are so hard to accomplish. It makes no sense that the money would be said to have to be spread this thin when it's all made up anyway. When you dealing with saying shit like welfare is going to run slow because they don't have enough people to work there, right? The tax places, right? The IRS. Now, I don't even know if it's the internal, right, revenue service, but I don't know if that's a government entity for real. But aside from that, it's like dumb niggas run slow. And it's like, well, they ain't got enough manpower, right? You get to these places and they go, oh, we need you to wait a certain amount of time because our computers is running slow, right? These are supposed to be essential services within the country that, in a way, keep the country running. We already know that you can't have poor people just in the streets hungry because hungry people go and they commit more crime. So that's one of the logical reasons why a welfare system has to exist. Now, we could speak all day about the people on the welfare system need to be doing better and working towards getting off the welfare system or not. And we could talk all day about the economic and historical situations that led up to having people who are now perpetually using the welfare system and even taking advantage of it in a way where it's not like they needed it, but they're going to take it anyway. Right now, of course, as it should be, we have essential government bodies that need to be funded and they need to be funded better. And then we have the things that don't even need to be a government-funded entity. And we need to get rid of it so that we can free up some of the money to now go to the things that need to be funded better, as well as the things that should have been government-funded anyway, right? So really how this thought got sparked was just me thinking about doctors, right? And me thinking about how expensive it is to get braces. Now, braces isn't even something that's necessary, right? You don't need that. But when you go to other things, it starts to become more prevalent of a problem. So braces right now is running niggas about $5,000. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, nigga, $5,000. That sounds like the tuition almost for a CUNY school. So it's like a nigga could get braces and get his teeth straight, or he could go to college for a semester. You know what I'm saying? That shit sound crazy as hell. He could go to college for a semester. Nigga said you could go buy a nice used car, or you could get some braces, nigga. Come on. That shit too expensive. But that's like unnecessary shit. But when we start to move into the necessary shit, right? Like certain medicines that people need, surgeries, right? Doctor's visits, the ambulance, all of that shit is expensive than the motherfucker. Now, if the government controlled this shit in a way, they can regulate those spending habits, right? Because it's government funded. Now you're looking for the best way to do something instead of having it be a system where a healthcare provider provides the services and they want to get paid more. And therefore, you know what I'm saying, they going to charge more. And I'm going to talk about that shit in a minute. But these are the things that go on when you should have something being handled by the government, but it's not. But it's not. It's too much fluff for the sake of gaining money, right? So the first thing that I got to say about this shit is that doctors, they should be paid by the government, of course. Now, it shouldn't be a situation where we say, oh, the government isn't giving enough money to these people and therefore their work is going to get worse and they're going to start fleeing the country to go work elsewhere, like we see with good doctors abroad, right? They leave where they come from with universal health care to come over here. And that's the consensus that we have upon motherfuckers that be looking shit up. You feel me? So you got a situation, if you think about it logically, if we take away shit like NASA, and I'm always speak about NASA because it is the most useless thing in the universe, nigga. Since they in space, it's the most useless thing in the universe. The shit is insane. I don't give a fuck how much Velcro we get, how much waterproof boots we get from these niggas. That's not shit that we ever needed, because before rain, niggas just went in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not before rain. I'm talking about before rainproof boots, nigga. You just took your ass in the house or you got wet because it's raining. You technically supposed to get wet. You technically supposed to get wet because that's how rain work, and that's the natural earth, nigga. Stop playing. Now, I'm not saying taking out NASA, one single organization, would be a situation where all the monetary issues of the country would get fixed. But that's a big, like a large ass chunk of spending that's going to something that we don't even get to see on a daily basis. Like, we can't even walk up and look at that shit. Like, this NASA, this what they doing. Look at it with your own eyes. We can't even do that shit. And these niggas don't save no life. They trying to talk like they saving lives, like they going to save some lives in the future. But right now, what we talking about is ain't no meteorite, ain't no asteroid coming towards us. And the only time we risked it is when y'all niggas sent a missile up or some shit to go drill or shoot at a goddamn asteroid. Y'all silly ass niggas. We get rid of that. All we got to do is focus on the doctors, right? The food and the housing. That's all we got to really worry about. And everything else set itself up for greatness. If the doctors is paid well, and they would have to be paid well because we don't want them to leave and we want them to do their best. We want them to maintain some sort of lifestyle. And even the nurses and motherfuckers like that should be getting paid more because it'll be more incentive to do good. It's not just another job where you put all this time in to come and you don't think you're getting enough out of it. We pay them well and we allow them to do their job, and we don't put too many issues into the structure of the system, right? And then take care of the healthcare situation, right? Because it'll be handled by the government. And then you take care of the medicine too. That makes sure that people are not just doing things and sometimes doing the wrong thing because it'll make them more money in the end, right? You have a government handling the healthcare situation for the citizens of their country who coincidentally, or not coincidentally, nigga, in return, technically, give their money up, pieces of their money up to the government to keep it running. That's the symbiotic relationship the shit should have. But instead, it's like hey, yo, I'm going to help you out with some things, but I'm going to bitch about it when you need help. And in return, as soon as you start working for the rest of your life, I'm going to need you to pay me some type of tax. And even when you a child, I'm going to need you to pay some type of tax if the parents put the money in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Even if you get a gift, we going to tax your ass for it. You better not let us know. And if you didn't let us know, you better not let us find out, because we going to tax your ass. So these healthcare situations that we find where people are really, in a way, being more stressed out by the system than they being helped. We take things like that and we take it away from the private corporations and we give it to the government. Now, this could fix a lot of things, and this can be set in a couple different areas in the country. I'm only really talking about the doctors, but in all honesty, this can go for many things. But when we're speaking about the doctors specifically in the healthcare system, it leaves a lot of room for people to hike up the prices of drugs and start charging people ridiculous prices because they know supposedly, right, this is some life-saving drug. But you're going to overcharge people for it because since it's life-saving and people are desperate, they're most likely going to pay it. And even if they don't pay it, right, the debt will go on to their surviving member. If they coincidentally die from not taking the medicine, then their debt will go on to the surviving member of the family. So they don't even have to worry about indefinitely waiting for their money. And then in the end, some other company or the government itself will come along and fucking pay for that debt. essentially leaving the person who needed the medicine indebted to a government that they already pay to keep it fucking running. They pay their share most of the time. The whole system is just wicked. But that healthcare system is one of the craziest things because that's the system that's most abused, right? When you're talking about all medicine costing too much, right? When the news will come on and say there's some new diabetes medicine that might lead to lower weight, to weight loss, and they say, but it's really expensive. It's $6,000 a week or some shit like that. I wrote it down, but I'm not gonna look it up. That was a long time ago. But the prices was exorbitant, my nigga, or exorbitant. I don't know how you pronounce that word, but I'ma use it because I'm a real nigga. The things that's funded by the government, I don't even necessarily find that they should be funded by the government. I think these are obligations as a country we should place upon the businesses, right? If you like with the simple thing of saying restaurants throw out all their food at the end of the day, at least cook shit. It's like, nigga, put that bitch together, make a couple plates and hire somebody to give that shit out to the homeless, my nigga, right? At the very least, they will be fed. You get what I'm saying? At the very least, they will be fed, and that's fucking cool. It's something that was going to be waste anyway. The private business is handling it. They logging it as waste regardless. So just give it out to people, and that'll make one more job across the board of all restaurants to just go out and give this food to people regardless of if they want that shit or not. You're going to do that bitch for 8 hours. You get to do anything that you want on the in-betweens. But, you know, aside from that, you just good. Well, probably not 8 hours, maybe like 4 hours because it'll probably be late because it's the end of the day. But at the same time, you pay them well for that because they walk in and they coming into contact with homeless people. You never know what the fuck is going to happen. Pay them well for that shit. And also give out the food instead of wasting it. Then you place that burden of feeding people that's being held to the welfare system and give that shit to the businesses that's being fucking kept alive through people, right? Any one of these people that come and give you money every day could one day be a potential homeless ass nigga on the street based off of a couple things going wrong. Because we don't know what the fuck makes a homeless person specifically, but we know it'd be a lot of shit going wrong, right? You never know if the person that's buying shit from your store every day, you done made $1,000 off this nigga a year, and he get into some bad shit and end up on the street. You can't get that nigga a plate of food. Come on, son. It wasn't that long ago. I would say when you dealing with like people that's not on the street, you build the homeless shelters for that, and that's a part of the damn budget. But you make sure a homeless shelter is not just some hotel that you renovated. Don't make it a hotel that you just like, all right, now there's going to be a shelter. Y'all coming? Y'all all right with this? Don't do that, nigga. Build buildings to be fucking shelters. If you got motherfuckers building all types of condos in Manhattan and Brooklyn and Queens that nobody live in, son. The majority of the people around can't afford that bitch, and the motherfuckers who can is buying it just for real estate opportunities. So if you telling me you could allow all these buildings to be built, and then you turn around and you build more shelters for Ukrainian niggas, right? How come you don't just build shelters for the motherfucking people who live here, who are happening to struggle at the moment? Don't build a shelter that don't have food capabilities, right? Don't build a shelter, and I would say don't build a shelter that don't serve good quality food, nigga, because that could be in the budget too. You move some things around. The American population is expected to move some things around every goddamn month that they got bills, nigga, regardless of what you want to do, right, and what you trying to do. And what you need to do, you gonna have to do what the fuck you need to do most of the time. And that's not some shit that the government carries. The government doesn't do that shit. These niggas spend in crazy ways, nigga. And that's what my fucking statement is about, nigga. It's a land by the people, supposedly built by the people, and it's supposed to be for the people, right? Controlled by the people. This is what we tell little kids. When they in school, we tell them that shit. I don't want to hear nothing about, well, that was something that we told the little kids, but you an adult now. So, nah, fuck that, nigga. Because the whole reason why a large population of America fucks with America is because they was told that this shit was some great place when they was young. And that fact alone, that constant statement of this is America the Great, leads them to being an adult who, even when they constantly complaining about the issues that they have, even when they see constant corruption from their government, even when they watch these motherfuckers be the most tyrannical people on the goddamn planet, they still say, well, it's better than over there, though. It's better than over there, even though over there has now been affected by whatever the fuck America got. Straight up consumerism and what we call democracy across the board almost, nigga. So America is now everywhere, but you still like, oh, it's better than over there, though. Fuck is you talking about? That's what the people call brainwashing, man. Despite all that shit, we could say that it's a land by the people and for the people, but at the end of the day, we have no control over what the government spends money on. And the act of spending money at this point is really what keeps everything running. You got to spend money on it, right? Even when like a nigga trying to be a motherfucking rapper. Not trying to be a rapper, nigga. I rap, I make music, but I'm trying to be a fucking known rapper, right? Let me put this shit right here to seem like I'm on my business shit. I'm trying to be a known rapper. So with that, they'll tell you, hey, yo, you got to buy the beat. How much the beat? The beat $2,000 from a nigga. Most niggas ain't nobody heard of this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody heard of this nigga. We in the same boat. My music is being put up for free. I only get paid through streams. You charging niggas $2,000 for a beat, nigga. Don't nobody know either of us, nigga. Why my shit free? I'm not about to charge $2,000. Don't a nigga sound crazy as hell? Nigga said nobody know me in these streets. I have no name. I have no clout. I only have the name that I call myself, nigga. But let me go ahead and charge these niggas $2,000 for my album, nigga. And the only reason why rappers put up with it is because motherfuckers who are already in the industry come through and they say, hey, listen, buy the beat, nigga. It's exclusive. They should be telling niggas, this is what I would tell a nigga, learn how to make some beats, nigga. Because if you learn how to make some beats, you already know the type of shit that you want to rap over, right? So if you learn how to make shit like that, you get creative with it, nigga. You learn the craft of it. Then you can just do it yourself. Then you ain't got to pay a motherfucker $5,000 for a single beat, nigga. You ain't got to look out for Timberland. Nigga said, yeah, I want a Timberland beat. How much Timberland charge? He charged $50,000 for one beat. Nigga, let me sell a little bit of crack. Get this $50,000 up. Because ain't no regular job about to get you the money you need to pay for these motherfucking beats. You going to have to sell some weed, nigga. This how the industry be fucking niggas up. You going to have to sell some weed if you trying to buy them beats, niggas. Them hoes is $2,000 a pop. That was a tangent I went on. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Not a tangerine, nigga. That was a tangent. So the government should be spending money on the shit, and they should be spending money on the bitch in a proper way, right? Teachers should be paid more. If you want to expect not, this is something that we can't get over, right? Because teaching is fucking mandatory. This is what y'all niggas is missing. If you don't got kids or you never been in a situation where your kid ain't going to school like that and have motherfuckers calling you, threatening you with ACS basically, then you wouldn't even understand that you have to send your fucking kid to school, right? Now, remember, it's not about learning. It's about fucking attendance, like a job, because they trying to get your ass ready to go to work, nigga. It's just about attendance. If you don't attend in the rate that we said you should, then you are going to have trouble in your life, right? If you don't provide documentation, then you're going to have trouble in your life. So we can't talk about teaching as if it's like some real, oh, society would be better if they are teachers. You got to talk about it like the government takes every single child that has a social security number and a birth certificate and it tracks them. And by the time your child is old enough to go to school, you will be contacted by somebody and they will get that motherfucker in school, or you are going to find some problems in your life. So now it's a mandatory thing. So since the government thinks it's a mandatory thing and they wouldn't have told it as the best thing for a child to be taught by other random people who most of the time don't believe nothing that you believe in, right? You should be paying the motherfuckers more, right? There shouldn't be, oh, this school needs to be owned by this person and this person and this person. We shouldn't see schools, right? Even public schools. There should not be a situation where you have a middle school and a high school in the same environment. Why would you want that? Why the fuck would you want that? The middle school should be over there. The high school should be over there. There should not be 3 different schools in one building. 3 entirely different institutions in one fucking building. That shouldn't happen. That's because the government is not spending money on shit. But on the other hand, I'm quite sure astronauts get paid a lot. I'm quite sure everybody at NASA get paid a lot. I'm quite sure the equipment costs a lot to make, right? I'm quite sure it costs them a whole lot of money every time they launch a rocket, every time a motherfucker got to go fix something, right? These niggas got to launch a rocket just to bring food and water up to these motherfuckers. Not even speaking about the production in the food and the shit that it takes to keep the water in a proper state when you bringing it up into space. But they pay for all of that shit. If a hex bug in motherfucking Target costs your ass about $60, how much you think a Mars rover costs? But you got a Mars rover out there roving fucking Mars. Something that we ain't never gonna need, nigga. Something that we ain't never gonna need. You only working on it because you planning on fucking this fucking planet up, nigga. We don't need that shit. But they spending money on it. Faithfully. A shit just to rove around Mars, nigga. Meanwhile, the teachers keep saying they ain't get paid enough. All the people think that the teachers don't get paid enough. The schools are being shared between 3 and 4 schools, right? One building, 3 schools in it, right? Shit rarely gets updated as far as like real fucking textbooks and shit like that. Real shit. You keep the same shit for a minute in the schools still. The motherfucking food situation in schools is terrible. So you got all of these problems. Meanwhile, anytime NASA needs something, they got it. So we not responsible enough, right? Not we, because these are supposed to be like our parents. When you think about it, nigga, you not responsible enough to ensure that the budget that you set aside for all of the people you in control over, not people that asked to be in control over, most of the people was born into being controlled by these motherfuckers, and they not doing us right, son. But who do I go to? What ACS do I go to, nigga? What CPS do I go to say that these motherfuckers is neglecting us? They neglecting us. They not treating us right. They not making sure we all fed. They not making sure we all healthy. In fact, they doing everything they could do to profit off of us being unhealthy. They letting people come around. They letting my uncles and aunts come around and fucking rob me of my money. They let my aunts and uncles come around and peddle drugs to me that don't really help what's going on, but they give me a bunch of other problems. They letting my aunts and uncles come around. That's the companies I'm talking about. They letting my aunts and uncles come around and fucking use me for their betterment. I say all that to say that things should be proper, but we in a land where we don't control nothing. We'll tell the kids that it's a land by the people, for the people, controlled by the people, but yet we can't tell these niggas, hey, why don't you give them teachers more? We got to lobby with niggas and we got to protest and we got to go to these meetings supposedly, all for a couple people who exist higher than a state that we exist in to go, nah, we just not going to do that. It's not logical. All of these people done got together to say that something is wrong with the country that we live in, that we give money to, and the people who own the money after we give it to them can just tell us, no, we not doing that. So how you control the country? How do things get better when things need money to get better and you're not willing to give up that money? Nigga, at the end of the day, cancer is one of the leading killers of Americans and motherfuckers in the world. And still, majority of the time, cancer research is being funded by regular ass people. Regular ass people, son. You telling me cancer is such a killer in this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Niggas with guns is a problem. They be having a non-stop TED talk on guns in America. But with cancer, it's like, oh, we ain't gonna put no task force on this. We don't got no cancer task force. That's what Michelle Obama should have came in talking about. Fuck obesity, nigga. We need a cancer task force. All of these things should be handled by the government. If you got motherfuckers in the shelter, right? You have the food on the streets being handled mostly by the restaurants that's going to throw the food out anyway, allowing them to have a chance to give back to their communities. You have the shelters in the budget properly where these niggas don't have to pay for food because you're going to give them food and you're going to give them good food. Just like you should be giving to the schools so the kids are healthy. Don't give them milk 24/7. Them children need some water, nigga, not some tap water. They need bottles of water, nigga. Milk come out of a cow. Water is free flowing on the fucking earth. So if you telling me you could pay for nonstop for 50 years, nigga, to my knowledge, it's been at least 50 years since these niggas been giving children milk for breakfast and lunch, nigga, for 50 years straight, 5 days a week. You telling me it wouldn't cost you less to have water? And if that's the fact, then that's crazy as hell, nigga. That's crazy. These niggas is thirsty. That's why the kids are so fucking big, nigga, because we know it's hormones in the milk, and motherfuckers go to school to drink all milk, nigga. Most of your day is spent drinking cow juice. Come on, son. Give niggas proper food so that shit gets better. Give niggas proper books. Right? Give niggas proper history. Fuck all that shit. Give niggas proper medicine, but the government has to pay for it because that's the shit that we need. At the end of the day, that's the whole talk. That's the shit that we need. Going down to shit like IRS and welfare with their computer systems. Get new computers. What the fuck is wrong with you, nigga? You know what I'm saying? I've been on welfare here and there, mostly here, since I was fucking 19, right? And then before that was on it with my mother. And the whole time the bitch been down. Like the whole time the system just been slow. You telling me, you serious, nigga? You telling me I had a phone that went bleep bleep when I was 12. And now I got a phone that could say words to me, but y'all niggas still got a slow ass system? How is technology progressing this fast, but you got the same computer? I'm confused, nigga. How much money do you know what I'm saying? What is y'all budget? This should be having me tight. I don't really want to be president no more, and I ain't do shit in my life to become that, right? And I think it's a puppet position anyway. But I was serious as I need to be president because this shit is silly as fuck, son. When you say the things out loud like this, the shit funny. Come on, son. I got a phone now in my pocket. I used to have a phone that went bleep bleep and did nothing else. My phone now has a flashlight, a MP3 player, the internet, and the bitch could still call. And matter of fact, I could video chat a motherfucker like it's 2040, nigga. That's what the movie said. I could put my face on another motherfucker face like it's 2040, nigga. Face off out this bitch. Fuck is you talking about? Face off and put the face back on. Come on. We doing a lot out here, and y'all niggas still got slow computers. This is y'all biggest enemy, right? This is your biggest conundrum. You have not found a solution for this shit. How about you change the computers? How about you get faster computers, nigga? I would think it'd be the simplest shit in the world. How about you get faster computers? You are the government. You receive money, right? Like you receive a stimulus package every goddamn week from the ranges of $5 to like $100 in taxes, nigga, taken out on a weekly fucking basis or some shit like that. You get that shit every week, son. You get that shit every week and still you don't got enough money for this shit. You know what I'm saying? If I got $5 from a billion people, you know how much fucking money I would have? I have like $5 billion, my nigga. If we being real, I think 5 times a billion is $5 billion. I don't know how many people. I'm about to look that shit up. I don't even know how many people exist in America, nigga. Civilian labor force. Damn, this should say it's only. Hold on, this should say it's only 162,000 motherfuckers employed. But right here, it says in 2022 about, or maybe that's in the millions, or whatever. This says in 2022 about 132.25 million people were employed, right? So if you get just $2 from them niggas, you know what I'm saying? But a nigga with a full-time job right now, I'll probably be making, just talking on the minimum wage shit. The taxes that's being taken out of that motherfucker check on a weekly basis is like $100, right? If you're making about $500 a week, they taking about $100 of that shit out, depending on where you work at. So we understand that these niggas make a lot of money, and it shouldn't be asking too much for them to replace the fucking operating system in welfare, nigga. It wouldn't be asking them too much to replace the whatever the fuck is going on. Replace the phones, nigga. Get younger people. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the age group of niggas who know how to use a phone, put them niggas on the job. Get them niggas on the job. You know what I'm saying? Give them niggas an updated operating system too. Stop fucking around. Hire some more people. If you want to take money from niggas on a daily basis before they even get the money, how the fuck you gonna hire not enough niggas to handle the organization that handles the money that you took from niggas on a weekly basis? That's crazy, nigga. That shit sound crazy. That's like a job having no payroll, son. Son, that's like a job having no payroll. That's like a job having no HR. And the country wouldn't tolerate that. So why the fuck do we tolerate it from them? We just tolerate that shit. This shit ain't got no HR. I guess, well, fuck it. I'ma just go complain to my kids. Shut up. Your kids don't want to hear that shit. The fuck is wrong with you? These niggas have the funds for this shit, son. They have the funds for it. And we know this shit because I ain't never seen the DMV run slow. It be 100,000 niggas in the DMV, but you ain't never seen that bitch run slow. You want to know why? Because that bitch got customers and not clients, son. That shit got customers and not clients. Anywhere that they got clients within the government organizations, them bitches move slow than a motherfucker. Me and my wife went to go get married. That shit happened in like 3 minutes flat. Them niggas called. We got in there. We had to wait maybe like 20 minutes until we got in. We got into the chapel. That nigga married us in like 2 minutes flat, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The whole process from waiting to being married was like 45 minutes, nigga. How a motherfucker get married in 45 minutes? Y'all niggas over here doing paperwork and all that shit. You done had the paperwork ready for me by the time I left the chapel. Nigga, this shit is crazy. You did all that in 45 minutes? Meanwhile, you go to welfare or you go to PATH to go try to get into the shelter. That bitch would be an all-day process. They be like, get here early. So what? So I get out early? Either way, I was still here for 5 hours. The fuck is you saying? I might as well get here at 5 and make y'all niggas wait till 10 for y'all to go home so I can waste y'all goddamn day too. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy as hell. You'll go to PATH to get into the shelter. You'll get in that bitch 9 o'clock in the morning and you might leave by 12 that night, nigga. That means you was in that bitch sitting in a blue chair for 12 motherfucking hours, son. But NASA got spaceships that they could send up on a regular basis to give fucking outer space ass niggas some water. Why don't you just come back down? Huh? You hungry? Bring your stupid ass down. You know what I'm saying? It's like a kid hanging out. Literally, it's like a kid hanging out on the roof. And the fucking mother's like, oh, it's dinner time, Billy, because this is white people. Oh, it's dinner time, Billy. You need to come down and eat your food. And Billy go, I don't want to come down. I like it up here. It's nice on the roof. And the mother go, all right, well, you can't eat dinner then. And then Billy go, well, why don't you just send it up? And the mother be like, okay, let me get the ladder. Like, what the fuck? What is this shit? Bring your silly ass back to Earth so you can eat some food and fucking drink some water and you won't be thirsty and your bones won't be degrading and you can fucking chill with your family. You know what I'm saying? But you get a regular ass job, nigga. Don't nobody need NASA and that shit be getting me tight. Excuse me. Every single day of my life, nigga. Every single day of my life, I'll be mad that NASA even exists, nigga. Because regardless of the shape of the Earth and what the planets is doing and where the sun is at and where the moon is at, that shit don't help nobody on a daily basis, nigga. If motherfuckers are still poor and you still got hungry niggas and you still got crime, right? And you still got disease, you got all of this shit. NASA not going to help that. Ain't nothing NASA about to find in the universe that's about to stop niggas from robbing stores. Ain't nothing NASA about to find in the goddamn universe that's going to stop a motherfucker from being hungry. What, they going to find some sandwiches up there? Huh? What these niggas going to space to find some sandwiches, nigga? If it ain't no sandwiches and hot dogs and burgers and fries up there, you can't do nothing for the human population. Nigga, fuck is you talking about? What is NASA going to go up there and find 4-dimensional spaces so we could build more houses on the Earth that's not even filled up with houses yet? Is this what we doing? Is they about to find some new shit? They about to find more space? Is they about to bring that space back to Earth? For Earth full of niggas that's like, on this big ass Earth, yo, it's too many people. We overcrowded. Well, maybe NASA about to go up there spending billions of dollars so they could bring back some space back to Earth so we have somewhere to live. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that was a tangent. The fucking situations ain't gonna get no better because we already understand that the country is trying to bankrupt itself. And for niggas that believe in the New World Order, you understand why it's trying to bankrupt itself, nigga. It's trying to make sure that everything fails simultaneously so that they can say, oh, everything failed. Fuck, everything must be wrong. Let's make this new shit where we all work together, I guess. We all work together. I call that shit the 3 ladders. You know what I'm saying? It's the 3 ladders, nigga. That's the 3 ladders group, nigga. I ain't gonna say what it is, but if you smart and not that smart at the same time, that's the 3 ladders group, my nigga. Cause they always wanted to do this shit. If a group can be filled up with famous people, rich people, and politicians all working for one goal, and that goal being to, and we talking about the biggest people in the respective countries. You got the biggest countries with the biggest people in their respective country coming together into one group we're going to call the 3 ladders group. And these motherfuckers is all working to make sure that governments and fucking economies all run within the same sphere of beliefs and ideologies. And you telling me that's not the shit that's coming? Come on, son. That's what's coming. Because that's going to be the next thing, nigga. It's not just going to be, oh, shit, everything failed. Let's give it back to the people. It's going to be like, you know what? We trusted these people too much. What we need to do is have stronger control. Watch, the nigga who bring it in, he going to do this, nigga, while he talking. Soon as you see this, nigga, you better be like, nah, we don't want that. We don't want that. You see that nigga got a stronghold. He got a stranglehold on us. He trying to keep us slaves, nigga. Understand that that's what's going to happen. It's motherfucking Lord Mav, nigga. The basics of what the fuck I was talking about for this whole time is that the land is not for the people and by the people. The land technically was made by a bunch of rich motherfuckers. Don't think that these niggas who created the Constitution was poor, nigga. It took one goddamn Google search right on the fly. I was just like, yo, I said some shit like this. because I don't remember the niggas that's on the Constitution. I said some shit like this. I wonder what kind of job James Madison had. Like, it wasn't James Madison, but that's the first name that come to mind. I can't think of these other niggas because fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Or like, not George Washington, but like one of these niggas. I'm like, yo, I wonder what kind of job he had. I typed that bitch in. That shit said his father had a large agricultural business. I'm like, agricultural? Hold on, nigga. Ain't tea agriculture? So I was like, hold on, nigga. So I looked up a couple more of these niggas. I'm not going to do it now, but you look it up on your own. I looked up a couple more of these niggas, and a couple more of these niggas was all into agriculture. So I'm like, hold on, nigga. If tea is so goddamn big that the whole country is mad about a tax about it, and these niggas is all the biggest fucking agricultural companies or entities within the land, then that means they would have been the most hurt by a fucking tea tax, which means they manipulated the fucking public to think that the shit was such a big deal that they needed to go to war over it. Think about that. And none of these niggas died. Think about that. These niggas coincidentally owned all the tea, son. Between the founding fathers of America and the niggas that wrote the Constitution, these niggas owned all the tea. Not the tea, because it's a leaf, but they owned all the places that was producing the tea that was being taxed so much, supposedly. So you think about that and you go, that's crazy as fuck. And these niggas lived through the war? Y'all niggas some snakes. Y'all niggas some snakes. It's always a fucking plan, son. So, nigga, the land was made by them, for them, and the bitch still controlled by them, nigga. If the bloodlines is being serious, nigga, the land is not for us or by us, so we can't change nothing in this shit. And we seen that shit, and we see it every day, son. There's nothing that we could say to the government that's going to make them niggas change what the fuck they doing or what they spending money on. They just going to look at us and say, you're not smart enough to understand what money needs to be spent on what, right? And then you accept that. You say, oh, fuck, I'm just a regular ass dude. I'm not that smart. I'm not as smart as them niggas. That's how they got that job. Nah, nigga, they got that job from being connected. And they got that job, then kept it because these niggas was down for whatever the fuck the plan is. And the only time some shit is changed by the American people is because they wanted that shit to change, right? Because you'll get suspicious as fuck if the government just go, fuck, there's no more slaves today. Be like, hold on, nigga, why you don't want no more slaves? So they got to make you think that they don't want it on some reverse psychology shit so that when you get it, you could be like, oh, all right, yeah, this is cool. I always wanted this. No, you didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's not as far as slavery go. But with slavery, when you think about it, as I was saying to some other niggas, the country was moving away from an agricultural like fucking juggernaut, you know, in the way you would say. It's not about that shit no more. Technologies was coming up and factories was on their way to being made, nigga. It was bigger shit going on in America. What the fuck we need all these slaves around the country for? All these niggas gonna do is make the country look worse. It's gonna make people mad, and it's gonna make slaves mad and they families. It's gonna gather sympathy from outside factors, and then it's eventually gonna become a situation where the white people also, the slave owners, are gonna start feeling bad for these goddamn people. You get what I'm saying? So all of those factors could be erased with one simple thing of, hey, just come over here and get a job. Now we got everybody slaving away when you look at it. Now everybody a slave. This shit crazy as hell. Ain't nothing that we could do about what the government spends money on, so there's nothing that we can do to change the country. The only time some shit changes when they want it to change, son. It's the illusions of economic spending. It's a straight illusion, man. Everything that's essential, that's really essential, that we know to be essential, like teaching, even though that's mandatory, but teaching and fucking doctors and medicine and fucking food and shelter, that shit should all be handled by the fucking government. And it being handled by the government means that it's really handled by the people, because the people fund the government, the people keep the government running, and therefore we do all the goddamn work. All y'all do is spend money. That's crazy as hell, son. That's like a motherfucker going to work, like niggas you say, go to work and come home and give the check to another person so they could spend all the money. That shit don't make sense. You the adult in the situation, you know what I'm saying? Or the responsible one, supposedly. At least split the money, nigga. You can't just be like, all right, here's all the money for the country. You spend it all and let us know what you did with it. Nah, nigga. You gonna have to give half of that shit back. We gonna give it to you. Nah, we not gonna give it to you. We gonna delegate what the fuck half is. You gonna take that and you do the same shit that you been doing, which is just fucking up the country. And then we take this half and we agree amongst ourselves what makes the most sense to do with it this time, and then the next time, and then the next time, and watch how fast our situations get handled. Watch how fast the country get better when the people have the opportunity to spend money on better shit. The healthcare system should never be controlled by private organizations, and that's just some shit. That's the truth, nigga. And these niggas really just don't care about shit. And we gotta, I don't know, it's nothing we could do, but it's nothing we could do. It's just, the country ain't right. I can't make no excuses for this shit no more. The country ain't right. It's fucked up, and this is what we gotta live with. And the only way we don't have to live with it no more is if we stop these niggas from doing exactly what they want every single fucking time. That's all I got to say. That's the motherfucking illusions of the economy, nigga. The economic illusion. I'm Lord Mav. This a real nigga thought. Representing real nigga news. Always with these Doug Zeb. That's good vibes backwards, nigga. I'm out. Peace.
Niggas hit you with that anesthesia, put you to sleep, bruh. You know it's the killer nigga woods where we creep, bruh. You know that my ninja they good, push like a Jeep, bruh. Catching niggas for days, no rest, math the reaper. Muscle memory in my cells, clap like a sleeper. Swim through money, I need a cell, these rivers deeper. My niggas got bonds, no better when shit go heater. Hammers banging, we bleed, your bodies everywhere, FEMA.